Hi everyone, welcome. This is Allison and this is your 20-minute Ustrasana Camel sequence from the home yoga practice webinar. And as you now know, we begin with centering. We're going to begin with a centering pranayama. So as you're in your comfortable seat, close your eyes and breathe. Recognize the gentle inhale and exhale like the waves of the ocean. Taking this time to become clear and present. And then slowly begin to come to standing to start in sun salutations. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, bow forward. Opening and warming up, moving with your breath. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow forward. And place your hands, step back to downward facing dog. Now, as you learned in the sequencing, not a lot of alignment, just moving with the breath. Inhale, come forward to plank pose, and exhale, lower down onto your belly. Inhale, curl forward and up to cobra, and then tuck your toes, and with your exhale, move back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward at your hands, and with your inhale, step or hop to Uttanasana. Exhale, bow in. And then inhale, stretch to the sky. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And then inhale, rise. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Slow and graceful with your breath. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, stretch through your legs and bow. Place your hands and move to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, float forward to plank pose with your in-breath, and with your exhale, lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Scoop your tailbone, lift your belly, and rise up into cobra. And then tuck your toes, and with strong, steady legs, move up and back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward at your hands, and with your inhale, step or hop to Uttanasana. Plant your feet and exhale, bow in. And with your next inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands come through your heart center. And last one, inhale, rising, stretching up. Exhale, bowing forward with strong legs. And then inhale, lift your sternum forward and up, long spine. Exhale, scoop your tail, lift your belly, and bow. And place your hands and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. And then moving with your breath. The warm-up is all about movement and breath. Lower down. And then inhale, cobra or up dog. And then tucking your toes, move back to downward facing dog. With your next inhale, step or hop to Uttanasana. Exhale, bow in. And stretch your arms up to the sky, come to standing. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now we'll move into our standing postures. The first one is wide-legged forward fold. And from here, you're going to bow forward with strong, steady legs. And we're working on lengthening through the legs, which we know to be one of the challenges in camel pose, Ustrasana, and also lengthening through our hips. You can keep your fingertips on the earth or stretch your arms out in front of you. Or if you're looking for more of a shoulder opener, you can clasp your hands behind your back. So choose the variation that is best for you and is going to give you the most opening and help your 20-minute practice feel the most nourishing. And wherever you are, keep the focus on lengthening through your legs. One of the valuable aspects about planning your home practice and having a sequence is that you can be really focused. And even in a 20-minute practice, you can accomplish a lot. Now, from your wide-legged forward fold, you're going to scoop your tailbone down and lengthen through your legs as you rise up to standing. Pause, settle into your feet, and then step back to the top of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. With your inhale, reach up, and with your exhale, bow forward. You're in Uttanasana, our second standing posture. There are a few variations here. You can inhale, move your hips back, heart forward, and then exhale, bow. We're going to do 2 more of those, just really using the inhale to open the hips. And then in your exhale, you're going to stretch and lengthen through your legs. One more. Inhaling, spine long, heart forward, hips back. Exhale, stretch down through your legs. Get anchored and rooted through your legs. Now you can stay here or clasp your hands behind your back again. And that's just an additional shoulder opener, so an invitation, not a prerequisite. And if you feel absolutely any strain in your low back, please feel free to bend your knees. That can actually create a little more space and opening in your shoulders as well. And then slowly, steadily release your hands. Our next pose, we're moving into our hip openers, is our high lunge. So step your left foot back and then rise up through your torso, arms up overhead. Your front knee is bent to a square, but your back leg stays super strong. You're lifting the back inner thigh up, and that gives you strength. So you can lift through the sternum. This becomes a shoulder opener and an upper back opener as well. With your next exhale, place your hands mindfully, and then with your inhale, step back up to Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. And then changing sides, you're going to step your right foot back. Front knees bent to a square, and then scoop your tailbone, lift your belly, and rise up to your high lunge. In your high lunge, your feet are planted, your legs are strong, so your hips can open. And as we learned, it is essential to open your hips to start opening the shoulders and to move into back bends. Keep a strong extension and then exhale, touch the earth. Inhale, step to downward facing dog. Our next hip opener is Konasana. Step your right foot forward, turn your left heel down, and then your left arm moves up and over. Your right hand can be to the outside edge of your right foot, or you can take your elbow to your knee. Again, the front knee's bent to a square and you're really stretching through your back leg. The back leg needs to be strong. And then place your hands back to downward facing dog to transition, and then left foot forward for Konasana on the second side. For opening the hips, keep your feet steady and your legs strong. Your legs really generate the fuel for your hips to open in a way that creates space. And again, you can place your elbow to your knee and then step back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, pigeon pose is our last hip opener. So bring your right foot forward and stay in a high pigeon. You can have your arms out in front of you and come onto fingertips, or walk your hands to your sides. So you're really rolling the shoulder blades on your back, preparing for our back bend. Maybe you can even bring your hands to your hips, and when you do, you're really hugging your legs towards one another to create a little bit of a lift in your pelvis. And you can squeeze your shoulder blades on your back, creating a heart opener, and then step back to downward facing dog and change sides, left foot forward. Again, you can bring your hands back beside your waist, to your hips, or even up overhead for a high pigeon. But this pigeon pose, because we're moving towards our pinnacle pose, our peak pose, Ustrasana, you want to be generating strength and generating opening. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. And now we're moving into our shoulder openers and our back bends and also core strength. So you're going to clasp your hands behind your back here and really scoop your tailbone down so you're drawing your low belly up and in. And that tension in the low belly is what creates a strong core and a stable lower back. Now from here, you're going to come onto your back for bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Place your elbows down, your feet are on the earth. Work your shoulder blades underneath your back. Then lift your hips. You can keep your elbows bent or clasp your hands underneath you. Keep your focus on staying anchored through your feet and your legs, because we know that's one of our challenges. Staying open and soft in your hips. You can even place your hands on your sacrum and your hips to really widen the hips, and then keep drawing the shoulder blades onto your back. So opening the upper back in preparation for our peak pose, Ustrasana. And then slowly lower your hips. You're going to roll to your right side and come onto your hands and knees for Ustrasana, Camel's pose. Now in Camel's pose, several different variations. You can start with your toes tucked under, place your hands on your hips and just lift your sternum up. It's like your heart's a balloon and it's just rising up to the sky. And you want to move your head back. Now you can also clasp your hands here, and that'll help prepare you in the upper back for Ustrasana. And then eventually you can take one hand to your heel and then the other. Again, those are invitations to go deeper. You can always keep your hands on your hips, keep your hands clasped, and then if grabbing your heels is relatively easy for you, you can eventually place the tops of your feet down. As always, keep your breath full. And as you inhale, rise up, be steady and strong. And then sit back onto your heels, pause, breathe, receive. And then we start our cool down. We're going to do downward facing dog with bent knees. The best way to relieve any compression in your low back is to get into your legs. That's why downward facing dog with bent knees is so beneficial. So now we're cooling our body down. We're preparing for Savasana. You're going to come onto hands and knees and then thread your right arm underneath your left for a twist. I like to keep my toes tucked under here so there's that charge to the legs. You're opening the hips, opening the low back, and then if you come onto the fingertips of your left hand, you can really draw your shoulder blade on your back. Slowing down your breath. And then inhale, come back to the center, and then thread your left arm underneath your right for your twist to the second side. Again, maintain the strength in your legs so there's stability in your low back. And you're on the right fingertips, so you can continue drawing your shoulder blades together on your back, reinforcing that pattern of back bending, of having an open heart, an open upper spine. Great posture. And then inhale, come back to the center and make your way onto your back for Savasana. You're going to allow your palms to rest beside you, face up in a receiving position. You can tuck your shoulder blades underneath you here just to Continue that imprint of the shoulder blades moving on to your back and the chest, the lungs, the heart being open. And you rest. You let the effort go, the work go, and you let the yoga take over. And then from this restful place in Shavasana, begin to deepen your breath, bringing life back into your body. And then wiggle your fingers, your toes. Stretch your arms up overhead. And bring one foot up and then the other. And roll to your right side. And then place your hands and come back to your seat. And in your seat, pause for our closing. And I recommend reflecting on your practice. Ask, how does your body feel? How does your mind feel? How do you feel emotionally and energetically? So you can appreciate what the practice, even just 20 minutes, brings to your life. And then fold your hands in front of your heart, grateful for the able body you have to practice with, the time and space to practice in, and the lineage of yoga which has been handed down to us. Thank you so much for being open to yoga, for practicing at home, and for allowing me to be your guide during this home yoga practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.